friends, welcome back to Bucket List Homestead. My name is Lynn if you're new here, and this is, I hope, God willing, I pray, this is the last and final video of the dream garden build. I pray. This will be part 4. I kind of thought it would be in 3 or 4 parts, but I thought by now I'd be unveiling it for part 4, but you know, we're human beings. We've said before, we're not experts. It takes us a little longer probably to build things than other people who, you know, are trained in this. But the main thing is it's getting done. So today is going to be the unveiling. You'll get to see it finished. We still don't have the screen up yet. That is going to be coming possibly a little bit. We're actually late in the day. Part 3 ended the same day I'm filming part 4. So a lot has been accomplished, so I just want to show you what we've gotten done this morning, basically. This late morning, early afternoon. So as you can see, we've got a herringbone pattern of wood going. Let me see if I step back, if you'll see it better. There we go. We've got herringbone pattern for a ceiling, for lack of a better word. And this is going to serve multiple purposes. One, to hang our sprinklers for the sprinkler system that we're going to install. So there, that's a better look. This one's done. And so the top of the fencing we're putting on top won't sag. And that means we don't have to have a post in the middle of my garden, because that would not be convenient. And I'm really excited about the sprinkler system going in. We've got a couple of sprinklers. We want to try to see which one we think is going to be best. We can't even try them till we get them up there. But last year, and honestly quite a few summers now, I've been very dry here. Very wet springs, very dry summer. And I think I mentioned this before, but 3 hours a night, almost every night last summer, I spent watering. And I think by the end of the second week, I was in tears. Because it was exhausting doing that every single night. Exhausting. And that's kind of what inspired David to do this whole new build. A loud dirt bike going by. That's what inspired him to do this. As a lot of you know, I have a lot of physical limitations too that have come from the gift of chemo that chemo left me with. Unwanted gifts, I should say. And he's concerned as things are getting old, as I'm getting wiser, it's going to be even more difficult for me. And yeah, he loves me, so he wants me to be able to still garden, which I love, without all the pain that comes with it at the end of every day. So the watering and things like that, and just other things, the weeding, the critters getting into my things, that kind of inspired him to come up with this this whole garden build. And so I'm really excited about the sprinkler system. I can't wait. I mean, I will still have to water some of the things outside of it, but the majority of the garden will be done. And it's not that I mind doing it. It's just, it was so much last year because there was so many things that needed it. So if this can be self-contained watering, or we're even going to put it on a timer even, then this will be a huge help because I can always get the kids and David to help with watering cans to do the other things. So yeah, so I want to say I can see it, but I think I've said that way too many times. So we'll just keep plugging along, and this is probably going to go into tomorrow too, because we haven't found David's staples yet that he bought. So we might not get to the fencing today, quite frankly. It is already after 3. Again, I always seem to be starting these videos late in the day. But we got to find those staples. Because if we can't find them, we're going to have to go buy more, which really stinks. Because if memory serves me, they were like $30-some. It's not that we can't use them for other things. It's just that we did buy them knowing we would need them for this. And they're just somewhere in that mess of a garage, which is on the to-do list of things to get done. And like David said, he's not going to spend hours looking for them if he can't find them. Because that will just add more time onto the build. It's the next day. The roof and everything, cutting all those cuts and all that took the boys quite a bit yesterday. And then I am trying not to overwork my husband. Supper time comes, He still worked a good later than I originally planned for supper, but I still made him. He was in the house by 5:30. So I'm trying not to work David too hard. You know, I don't want him doing 18 hours on this thing. So starting just a little bit later than we wanted because we gave up trying to look for the staples and we just went and bought some. The heck with that. We know they're in there somewhere, and we know we're going to need more later this summer for other things, so it's not like they're going to go to waste. But I don't want to waste hours looking for something when we could have hours into this build. So David's unraveling all the it's chicken netting, it's poultry netting, right? Or wire, chicken wire. And I think the holes will be small enough for the chipmunks. They don't go into the chicken pen, which they wouldn't anyway, because they know they're going to get ate, but we've never seen them in there, even when the chickens weren't in there. So, all right, speaking of chickens, Henrietta's out having her morning scratches and walkabouts. Her getting better is at least one more thing off my mind. So I wanted to touch on too. I was talking to my group of friends this morning, and I said, is it possible to have burnout already in May? And every one of them said, oh yes, 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 yes. And I think obviously part of it is a lot of the emotional problems that have been, emotional things that have been happening to our family in particular the last couple of months, especially the last few weeks. So that's certainly taken a toll. And I just feel like I've been working in my garden for over a month and it's still not planted because the prepping, I mean, maybe a lot of people don't talk about this, but there's a lot of prepping that goes into foliage, and that takes time, especially when you're kind of sort of starting over, which I basically am. I'm basically sort of starting over this year. So yeah, so if you're feeling a little overwhelmed and exhausted, it's okay. It's okay. So we're doing what we didn't want to do. We're cutting it and then going to. We were hoping we could just keep it rolled up, but that's not working. It's too heavy. It's an awkward position to try to put that staple gun in. So we're measuring it and hoping that this makes it easier to go on. So we got 4 panels done, 4 of them, and then we went in for lunch and changed in a little bit cooler clothes because it is hot out. It's amazing to me how hot it is during the day and how cold. We got to almost freezing again last night, which means I had to take all my plants in again, which is becoming exhausting. Anyway, we've decided it's a lot easier. David decided, and I agree with them, that we're cutting all the pieces for the top and doing them first. It's a lot easier to use than trying to handle a big long piece like we wanted to go up and over again. We thought it would save us time. I actually think it was taking us longer. So we're going to get all the sealing done, and we're not 100% sure if we have enough fencing. We thought we did, but now we're not so sure. So I'm not sure if we're going to have to go get more. it is what it is. We're two people doing this, so it's going to take us a little longer. I wish we had a community of people who could help, but our reality is we don't. And I think a lot of people have that reality. So I hope this is relating to a few of you out there who are trying to do this homesteading thing as a couple. And I mean, we have some help from our children. I don't want to say we don't. They do help quite a bit. But Aiden's in school today, so he can't help us here during the day. I just want to add, working with chicken wire is no joke. David's finishing the last panel of the roof. The roof is done, but we have to go get Aiden from track practice, so we'll be back at it when we get him. So it's been a couple of days since that last clip ended. We got rain. Aiden had his last track meet of the year, so we haven't been able to work on it for a couple of days. But that's okay, because the rain meant I got some much needed things inside the house done. That has been a huge cause of some of my anxiety the last couple of weeks, because I knew the house needed attention, and it finally got it. So I'm feeling a lot better about that today. And I think David said we are finishing this today, didn't you? I don't want to jinx us. You know what? I'm not saying that because it's Friday. We also have tomorrow. So I'll be happy if we can just get the wall, so we've got 3 panels, what we're calling panels here on this wall to finish. This back wall, and then the front, which part of that's the door. So if we can get that done and then the door tomorrow, I'd be a happy lady. And then I'll be planting this weekend. The other cause of my anxiety, I don't know about where all you are. We're in Eastern Ontario, Canada, for those of you who are new here. Our zone is 5B. We have had frost. Twice this week and twice last week. So bringing the plants, which they're all happy right now in the greenhouse, bringing the plants in and out at night is just exhausting me. I am feeling, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I am definitely feeling burnout already, and that has never happened to me. Not this early in the year. Like we haven't even started and I'm already feeling it. So that is telling me that I need to relax for one, and maybe reevaluate what I'm planting. This mess here that was supposed to be our blueberry patch, all those blueberries we planted last year, I showed that. They're all dead. Not one of them survived. I wasn't feeling good about them by the end of summer last year. But yeah, there's nothing there. So that was supposed to be my pumpkin patch. I might not grow pumpkins this year. I just don't know. Because they need to be in the ground in the next week, or I don't know. I'd like to maybe at least get 1 row of the, I think it's called Winter Luxury. I'll have to double check. But that I got from In My Gardener. I'd like to at least plant a few of them just to see what they're like. That might be all I get done. The other 5 varieties are probably not going to get done this year. And I'm okay with it. I am. I've got to give up some things, or I'm going to be no good to nobody by September. So that's just the catch up. So David's already started, so I'm going to go get ready to help him. And yeah, we'll get these panels done. It's still fairly early in the morning. It's a beautiful day. It's funny how our days are so warm and our nights are so cool. It's just crazy. And I'm worried that that's going to just mean another year of weird and wonky weather. In true style, it's been a few hours. Oh man, and as typical, nothing ever goes the way you think it's gonna. You know, we are a very busy family, and homesteading, you have to kind of like go with the curves, right? um, the other chickens are treating Henrietta terribly. They actually hurt her, so we had to take her back out. We really thought they were going to be okay, but they're not. They're not allowing her back into the coop to roost. They're not allowing her to lay. And if she, as long as she stays under the coop away from them, they leave her alone. That's not good. So while David built the door, I couldn't film it because I rigged up this lovely, it's not the greatest. We had to take time out just to give her some kind of run because what that little coop is sad. It's hysterical. They say that fits 4 chickens. No way. But oops, sorry, I have lunch on my face. So we had to stop and do that. So she's still not 100% happy because her coop was the coop is a lot bigger, but we get 4 16-week-old Buff Orpingtons in about 2 weeks or so, around the 14th of June. And after they've quarantined, we're going to hopefully try and put all 5 of them back in there together. We're hoping group will make them less likely to pick on her. I'm also going to buy some no peck spray, something like that it's called. Bug. We're going to see if we can find some this weekend and spray that on her. Apparently it makes her not taste so great, so they won't peck her. I'm willing to try it. Right now Lily's trying to figure out what kind of dog is that. But yeah, so David got the door built. I'm going to take you and show you that. What did we use for that, hon, again? Hold on, big truck just went by. 2x2s? Yes. We used 2x2s for them. Funny thing, the 2x2s were more money than the 2x4x8s that we bought to build it. I don't get that. I don't understand that at all, but they were almost twice as much as the 2x4s. The door's not over here. Just a second. He moved it on me. I thought it was still over there. But I'm just going to show you what we've got going so far. Da, da, da. Here it is. So there's the door, and oh, there's Lily. Hi, Lily. Okay, and my shadow. Hello. So yeah, so we're going to put wire mesh on here, and we also have a door handle to attach. So I love it. I think it's beautiful, but it really makes me angry that these were more money than the 2x4s to build it. So we're just going to install the door now. It's done. More or less. There's a couple tweaking to do, a couple little things, but if I wait for that, I won't be able to premiere my video tomorrow, and I'm hoping it goes up tomorrow or in time for tomorrow. Right. So before we're going to keep you waiting just another couple minutes, we thought we'd we're going to be transparent about what this costs. Mm-hmm. Like little everything, like the staples, everything we've because we want to know too. Yes. How much it costs. Things we've learned and things we would probably do differently. Yes. Okay. Things we would do different. Let's start with that.
It's not like we didn't plan this at all.
You drew it out. I've actually had like a drawing of what he wanted to do, and it pretty much is what the drawing was.
This isn't something that maybe we would do different, but your plans change as you start to build. Materials change.
They've changed. I don't know how many times.
Oh yeah,
we've changed.
Yeah, so you have a picture
tonight,
in your head
at least 5 or 6 times.
It does not turn out exactly the way, but it's similar. So
he's a perfectionist. I love it. And I'll tell you why I love it. Because this is it's a building of love. It's absolutely. David has done this for me. I was very happy putting up with what we had. I grew a lot of food using that, so I was happy. But so every time I look at this garden build, I know how much you love me. So I think it's perfect. But he's a perfectionist, so he sees a few things. But one of the things we would do different is we would make it not so tall.
Yeah, a bit shorter,
A bit
easier
shorter.
to work with.
Would have been easier to work with.
So I wouldn't have to spend so much time on a
On
ladder
ladders.
and things like that.
And I can't do a lot of ladder work because I have vertigo, and going up on the ladders was difficult. Thank God for Aiden. Like, he did help us quite a bit.
It's 8
So
feet.
shorter. Probably should have done them
Probably
6.
a bit more than that because I'm on
Dirt.
It's probably about 8.5 feet.
So we should have done at least
Up.
probably 6 feet.
I would have been 6.5, so another 2 feet down.
Yeah.
I would have definitely did that.
Yeah, I'm not tall.
It would have been easier to work with. Yeah.
So we would have made it shorter. We would have used 2x2s for the roof.
Yeah. So I would have made it would have made it easier probably to do a peaked structure on the roof.
Which you would rather have had. I'm happy with what it is.
I think I would have been able to span it easier than what I did. But
because the roof ended up taking a whole day.
Yeah. So
because of the cuts and everything. So
I had to rethink it.
So he would have done that. We wouldn't have filled and placed the beds till after we were done building.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the reason we did that was to keep the weed barrier cloth down, so it wasn't blowing. Because we spiked it all down, but even so, and I was a little anxious. So I wanted to get it done, and my plan is like I'm planting tomorrow, so I didn't want to have to take any time to do all that after the building. But if we had to do it again, we would wait because that was hard maneuvering around a little bit. Wasn't impossible, but it would have made things just a little bit easier. You said you wouldn't have used brackets, or you would have bought bigger ones.
Yeah. So the brackets I bought were small, and they didn't hold as well as I thought they were going to do.
We got them online because we literally could not find what we really wanted.
Yeah. So
at
I
a decent price.
Bigger ones. Definitely gotten bigger ones. If you're going to use brackets, then definitely bigger ones than one I use. The ones I used were an inch and a half or inch, something like that. They were very small, and no, you need to have the bigger ones. Or I would have just put the screws right into the 2x4.
We would have bought at least 2 more rolls than what we thought we needed of the chicken wire. Oh my gosh. I mean, I know that stuff has gone up like crazy since we bought it last. It was expensive. And I know we were trying to get away with like, okay, we could probably, and we did measure, but for some reason, it still ended up needing another roll. So we ended up having to go back and get another roll. And instead of buying another roll, we repurposed stuff we had from the old garden, which I'm happy with. I mean, I love it when we can reuse stuff we already have and save money. So that helped. But so however much you think you need, get at least 2 more of it.
Yeah, always get more, and don't open it, and you can take it back.
Take it back, and we were trying to save money. We were really trying, hopefully, not to have to buy as much. So yeah, and the big thing that we would have done, the number one thing, if we had to do it all over again and start over a month ago, we would have leveled the ground better.
Yeah.
That kind of was my fault because I was like, we're good. Like we did as good as we could because I just knew that it would never be 100% perfect for him. If we had it leveled, but now that it's built, I agree with him that it could be more level. It really could. I mean, our ground here is not level anyway. Look how all the work we did for a
the
pool.
leveling takes a lot.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot more money. It took a lot more time. We could have been leveling for 3 weeks, really, because we were only doing it on the weekends at that point.
Yeah, it's just that. So, and I was kind of just eyeballing a lot.
And it's going to take you longer than you think. Like, we knew it was going to take us a while because thank God David decided to take... Sorry, Lily wants up. She hasn't seen much of us today. David took off this whole week because we wouldn't have been able to finish it in time for planting.
No.
And I'm going to admit, there were times where I didn't think we were going to get this in time for planting. I plant tomorrow. Like, the plants are sitting there in the garden waiting for me. But, yeah. So, that's what we would do different. And like I said, what we've learned is it took longer than we thought it would, which is typical. We had a lot of setbacks between weather, my eyes.
Had to make several trips.
For things.
Store just to get different things.
And if we did it, what we really should have done too is we should have, back in the beginning of March when we wanted to, we should have organized our garage and cleaned it when we wanted to. It's a disaster. I'm embarrassed to have anybody, Lily, I'm embarrassed to have anybody go in there. She hasn't seen me much today. It's such a mess, and it's hard to do in cold weather, and it's been so cold. We got it cleaned up enough for our chicks, for the brooder, and that was about it. But honestly, we should have organized that better, because some of this took longer because we were so disorganized trying to find stuff. And that's not how I like to work. I like things organized when I'm doing things. When I'm canning, when I'm baking, when I'm doing any of that, Lynn likes to be organized. So,
well, some things you don't take into account. So I thought I was going to be able to build most of it without doing a lot of cuts. Nope. That was a mistake.
Yep.
So we still had to do lots of cuts. The burning probably took a bit longer than I thought it was going to take. Although it was fairly quick.
Yeah, that was quick. And it's cool too. Aiden loved doing that.
Yeah.
We had no problem getting him to finish that. So, all in all, I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. Like, I was in there. I planted a little bit today of a few things and started getting my stacker pots ready. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so happy. I don't even want to think about the rest of the garden on the other side, the flower bed and all that, because that will be next weekend. But for now, the vegetable garden build is done. Now, the the cost. Now, I want to say I saved for this during the winter, because he drew up what he wanted like in September, I think, or late last summer. He had it drawn. So we kind of roughly knew what we were going to, so I did save, and I had, I'd say probably about 90% of it saved.
Yeah.
So that wasn't too bad. So, and some things cost more than we thought. The wood cost more than he thought it was gonna. Yeah. I knew it was gonna cost a lot, but surprisingly though, the wood was the wood the most expensive? Let me just see. It was not, surprisingly. It was not. It's close. It's second, but the chicken wire cost us more than the wood. So, all together, and this is everything. The brackets. We've had it, like I said, it's done, but we have some tweaking. One of those tweakings is the sprinkler system. We've got one in there right now, and we'll show it to you here in a minute. Still not 100%. We bought 2 sprinklers, and we end up using one we already had. Yeah. But those sprinklers aren't going to go to waste, so I'm still including them in the cost, because we did buy them for the build. Well, I will use these sprinklers other places on the property. But, that...
I wasn't counting on the water pressure.
The water pressure.
And having multiple sprinklers on one hose.
And we put them upside down, and that's part of the problem. But I think it's fixable. It's great now. It's better than what I had, which was no irrigation system. So, and I'm not including the garden boxes I already had. I'm only including the ones I bought this year. So... drum roll. Our grand total was $1,481.30.
Yeah.
So, just to get the garden built by somebody not too far from us who was advertising that he builds them, and it wasn't as big, he wanted $5,000.
Yeah.
And that did not include soil. That did not include garden beds. That just included the enclosure. Yeah. That was it. So I think making it ourselves. I mean, we're going to be honest. If we had the money, we probably would have had someone come in and level the ground.
Yeah.
We probably would have had someone come in and build it. If we're being honest. I mean, it's just, it just is. Like, I don't mind doing a lot of things our own. And I love building stuff. I mean, we built our island. But at the end of the day, this was a lot. I have a lot of injuries. David's got injuries. We're hurting. As you see, there's one injury, a thumb. And just other, and the chicken wire killed us working with that.
When you can,
yes, we wear gloves, but my arms got,
having gloves and stuff.
But being honest, if we could have, but that being said, I am so proud of us. Like, we kicked butt. Like, we did a great job, and Aiden helping. So now all that's left is the planting, which is my favorite part. So, are you guys ready to see it?
Yes.
Let's take them and show them. Okay. The sun's going down because we did this right to the wee hours. So, ready?
I'm ready. Let's do
1, 2, 3. Ta-da! There is our build. So here I have rose bushes that I'm hoping will climb up. And Right in here, we're going to put some stone or rocks or something to cover that in, just because I keep tripping over the wire that we have underneath the black weed fabric to keep the moles and everything from coming up. And then I'm not sure, I'm thinking about maybe small garden boxes with some flowers and things in here in the front. We also are going to be putting a wood board across here because I have a, if you want to grab it, hun, out of the wagon, I have a really cute solar light that I actually bought last year for our barn, and it never went up. So it's going to come up here. We're going to be putting hanging plants. We have the hooks around the outside that I'm going to be doing, about 6 hanging plants, maybe more. And I have some wind chimes, and oh, I have all kinds of ideas that I'm putting in here. This is the lamp that we will, if you can see it, here it is.
Can see it?
Yep, we can put that, we're going to be putting that up, and it's all solar. So that will be going up top here. So then we come in, open my latch. I have a chair in here right now for when I want to come in the mornings and have coffee. And yeah, so all the plants are staying out tonight. This is the first night they're staying out, finally. My comfrey's starting to bloom already too, which is cool. More on the stacker pots in tomorrow's video. In case you notice what I've done here, that is very handy. More strawberries got planted. I do have a few things planted. I planted my kale and my celery, and you all knew about my lettuces, but more celery and some more lettuce that I had started in the house. So this is it. This is my garden build. It's actually going to come on here at 9 o'clock. So this is the timer. I didn't include that in the cost because we actually bought this clearance, what, 4 years ago maybe, or 5 years. Yeah. And if you follow that all the way up and over here, ta-da, there's our sprinkler. And like I said, we're having a hard time because it only goes to this garden bed and those stacker pots. It's not getting that garden bed, and it's not getting that one. But that is something we can absolutely work with. So there's the sprinkler system. No weeding in here, at least this year. That needs weeding. My old herb garden. And we are going to have an arch here for my loofah if they make it. They're not looking so great, but if the loofah don't work, I'll have something else growing there, and the bugs are coming out. And in the front here, we're building another garden box, and that's going to hold my morning glories and some more flowers. So yeah, it's done, and I could not be happier. I'm so pleased. Is Lily still in there?
I don't know.
Nope. I am so pleased with
Hello.
it. Oh, yeah. Come on, Lily. And Lily likes it. It's Lily approved. So that's it, friends. There is the garden build for Garden 2023. I am so insanely happy with it. And I can't wait to grow all our food in it this year. So thanks for coming along with us on this garden build. It has been quite the adventure. Till then, take care. God bless. We'll see you all soon.
Bye.